Hey, hey, friends. Hi, hi. So excited to be here with you today with my special guest, Erika Totten, coming live to us. Now, I know I said she was Merida, but she is in Glowland. I don't know. I don't really. You see her? You see me. We both in
Hey,
Mexico.
y'all.
I don't know what that sun and that
You
light.
know, the Yucatan is different.
I don't know what's happening. It must have been from when that asteroid hit the Earth. That's still that glow. She's still. You see that? That's life in Merida. And that's what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk to you about what life is like living in Merida. Erika's been there for almost a year, right?
Yeah, it's been almost a year. That's crazy.
And you live there with your family. So we're going to talk about moving abroad with children, with a partner, and then making community. I'm super excited about this talk. Erika was a speaker at Exodus Summit 2024 before she moved. So you know we take credit for the move. You know.
I mean, there's a whole video about it.
She can say whatever she wants, but I know. But Exodus Summit did this. So super excited. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everyone here in the comments, everyone in my community watching. Thank you guys for being here. Come with the questions. We're going to be on it today. So let's get into it, Erika. Let's get into it. Tell the people who you are.
Ooh, who am I? I'm free as fuck. That's first of all. That's the first thing that comes to mind on this day.
Okay.
I am. That's just what I'm on.
You said we're starting here, right?
We're starting here.
We're starting here.
But no, I am I'm a spiritual life coach, executive coach. I'm a healing justice practitioner and facilitator. So I facilitate community healing spaces and have been doing that for about 20 years now, with the focus on Black liberation, healing from internalized oppression, racial stress and fatigue, and racial trauma of all kinds, and supporting people in healing and moving toward liberation, what it looks like in their own life, and breaking any chains of self-limiting beliefs. So I've been doing that for a long time. And I am a writer and wife, mom, sister, friend, all of that. And yeah, that's me. I'm doing what I love.
All right. Well, since you jumped straight in, I'm gonna jump straight in. We just gonna go there. You used to live in the DC area?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How is Merida, Erika, different than DC, Erika?
Oh, you know, Merida, Erika is moving with a different pace of ease. I'll say that. With the work that I do, I was always doing nervous system care and energy exercises, how you decompress from the day, how do you make sure that you're not absorbing energy that's not yours, things like that. And so I was really, very heavily in my practices. And what I noticed here is I don't have to do as many practices to get to like a baseline of regulation, in a sense. And so the pace here in this land matches the pace of my nervous system. So it's not a whole lot of calibrating. So I'm not as exhausted as I was. I didn't realize, we talk about energy work and spiritual work, that's work. But until I moved here, I don't think I realized how hard I was working to be well in the place that I was in. And so here it's just a lot more easeful. I don't have to do as much. The land holds me well here, and the energy of the people, the sun, all of that. It just, I'm moving at a pace that feels more aligned with who I am now.
Did you know to expect that when you chose Merida as the place you were moving to?
When I visited in April, we moved in June, but we visited in April. I felt it for sure. I felt it. Living here and being here for a long amount of time, is just different. It feels it's different. So there was hope of that. And there was a knowing when we visited, but it's very different to like really be here and living here and actually feeling the shift and the change. And when I go back to the States, people feel the change from me too. Like my brother was even saying, he's like, your eyes are different. Like your eyes were not that green before you left. And so yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Tell us about your family unit.
Yeah, so we moved here with it's a family of 4. So it's me, my husband, and we've been married for it'll be 20 years this year. And our 2 children, our son Solomon, who just turned 17, and our daughter Marley Hendricks, who turned 15 in September. And so it's us. I have some other family that are talking about coming that have gotten their residency and all of that. Yeah, I have a cousin that's going to be moving here too. Yeah, it's our family of 4. Our teens are in high school here, and they're doing really well.
Okay. Has Merida lived up to the expectations that your husband and your children had?
That's a good question. I think it's mixed for all 3 of them, for 4 of us, actually. I think that a couple things. I think my daughter and I are able to grasp the language a lot quicker than my husband and son. So it's a bit different for them.
Okay.
Our son, the way that I kind of look at it is like we each are all in like an incubation phase. And whatever it is that this land is supposed to give us, whatever it is that we're each supposed to learn about ourselves is happening. So, and they notice it too. So our daughter is, all of us are thriving in a way of, what we are supposed to learn here. Our son has taken up strength training, and is doing really well in school, getting all these different certifications, and through his school, through different universities. Like he's the school that they go to, it's a dual diploma program. So they get a Mexican diploma and an English diploma and a US diploma. And so, yeah, it's really dope. And it's a tech focused school. So all the children have Macs, all the kids have iPads. It also supports you in being able to travel. Like if we have to travel to go to different places. And it looks like my charger give me 1 second. My charger popped out.
No problem. Erika's living the life. I'm so glad we have her here today to talk to us about this because, okay, the kids are in school.
Yes, the kids are in school. Yes, incubation for them. Our daughter is an equestrian, and so we found a really dope trainer here to continue her training. And she's been competing. So she's won 2nd place in her first jumping competition here. The trainer that my husband found was one of the trainers for the Mexican Olympic team. And so that's why I'm like, they out here doing their thing.
Because you might be able to get that in the US, but it would probably be significantly less accessible, right?
Yes. And so we had that. So our daughter has been riding since she was maybe 8. It's one of the activities we found during the pandemic that allowed some distance too, but still activity and things like that. And so that was one of the missions, is to continue that as we came here. And so they were able to find that. And so, yeah.
Nice. Okay. And how's your husband adjusting?
He's doing well. I think that it's a challenge for him, right? As a man, he used to work for the federal government. And forgive me, there's something going on with my computer with the charger port. So if you hear that, so him kind of moving into a place of rest and just being able to just be without having to figure out how to make money and all these different things. He was able to really have a sabbatical of his own, which is really what we wanted to. And so now trying to figure out what's next for him. He's just kind of in this space of exploring and trying to figure out what that looks like for him. But he definitely feels a difference in his body, how much easeful it is here. Yeah, we are all experiencing it differently, and knowing that this is the soft place that we needed to land. And then wherever we decide to do next, like some years from now, we'll be able to determine that too.
Okay. I know that because I don't talk to men a lot.
Okay.
But I do be in their business a little bit. And I know that one of the reasons that we often see more women moving abroad and making choices like the choice you and your family made, more than one of the reasons it's led by women more than men is sometimes men have a hard time giving up the idea of like, I make money in X way, which would mean I would go to a new country and not like, that's crazy, right? But your husband was able to get past any hangups around that and just take a break. It's so rare to hear men taking a sabbatical.
It is. And I think because he's witnessed me in my sabbatical practice over the last 5 years or so, where I take the winters off. He knows the value of it. He just didn't. I don't think that he realized that I don't think he knew that it would ever be possible for him. And so it's definitely an adjustment. It's an adjustment. And it took some time for him to kind of like ease in. And I think now he's more in the frame of like, okay, so what's next? I've rested and now I'm not really going to be able to rest until I figure out what I want to do next, things like that. And so he's kind of in that discovery phase.
Okay. Backing up a bit, you said that your daughter and your Spanish has come easier to you than to your husband and your son. Do you think that's a personality thing or a gender thing? Do you think is there anything you associate with that?
I think a part of it, so we're a neurodivergent family. And so the things that we each are able to do are very different. And so we just pick up on things a lot, depending on whatever they are. We each pick up on things just a lot differently. And so I think that languages just come easier for my daughter and I. We learned that about her when she was much younger. And so it just, I don't know if it's a gender thing. It could be, but I think it's more like how our brains are wired.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, chat. We're doing it. Tori says, I'm so glad we're talking about neurodivergence. Why did that do its thing? Which we can talk about some more. But I'm super excited because Erika has been in the community in Mérida. She's making friends. She's going to tell you what this experience is like when her computer quits playing with her. In the meantime, I say, Nikki, thank you for the super chat. Drop your questions for Erika in the chat. We're going to keep going. Merida is, there's a video, I think, on the Exodus Summit Instagram where we talked to Erika about her experiences in Merida. And both Stephanie and I were like, but it's so hot. And Erika was like, is it? I don't even notice. I love Merida conceptually. As a concept, beautiful. As an actual place to live, I'm not a heat girly. Leave me out of it. And so I think that having a perspective of someone who actually likes it there, has built community, is really important to us when we get her back. All right. In the meantime, Who in the chat, has anyone in the chat lived in Merida or visited Merida? And if so, what do you think? What are we thinking? Jaylyn, the dancing therapist, said she was just telling a colleague that I wish for Black women to live a life where you don't have to meditate, do breath work, etc. Yes. And it's really amazing that Erika has that space in Merida because, child, we don't get it a lot. We don't get it a lot. I'm just gonna check my email to make sure she's good. Oh, Creative Flavor is going to Merida for Christmas later this year. Christmas is a good time to go. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be cool or cold, but it's a good time to go. Anyone else been to Merida? Tell us everything. Ooh, permission to leave. Just got back from Merida on Friday and loved it. Tell us what you loved about it. Ooh, okay. Committed to the Journey 2023 says, my husband and I received our permanent residency in December. We hope to be coming to Mexico City, Merida for a scouting trip in January for 3 to 4 months. Those are two completely different beasts. But I think you'll like it. Disabled Diva Travels, that's Eve, says, I visited Merida and I love it. It'll be my forever home when I stop off around the world. Oh, so Eve has been looking for her forever home for a while. I didn't know. She was thinking of Belize for a while. And I think she was seriously considering maybe Thailand, except it's kind of far. But I'm glad to know that you landed on Merida. People love it up. Black people love it up there. Community, chock full of community. Well, I have a guest. Where is my guest? Okay, well, we can do this. Oh, well, just as I say that. You good? Okay.
Okay.
Good
Lord.
I was like, well, I can freestyle about Merida for at least 30 minutes. So, okay, the girlies are in the chat telling us.
Okay.
Kat says Merida is so much bigger than SMA. It's more of a real city. I love the architecture of the interiors, but the streets are not as cute or clean as San Miguel de Allende's. Now, it's hard for any city to be as cute and clean as San Miguel de Allende because they'd be outside sweeping at like 5, 6 a.m. Clean it up. Yes. But yes, all the girlies are here. Disabled Diva Travels. We were talking about how she had been looking for her permanent place, and Merida has the community she needs and it's close proximity to Dallas, so she can see her grandkids. So
the community is dope. The community is dope. That was one of the reasons. That was one of the main draws because there were so many Black families here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what I seem to see is like when I talk to parents is that Merida is a place where children thrive.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. Because it's such Mexican culture is so intergenerational, right? They are really serious about the protection and love and nurturing of their children and the education of their children. So yeah, I definitely see that. There's so many, when I think about the Black families who are here, there has to be, it's got to be like 30 or so kids now in the age range of like 6 to 11. And so that group of kids are really thriving. They're all into all the different activities and learning Spanish. And there's a lot for them to do and to be engaged with here.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So you moved. What initiated your move from DC? So not what brought you to Merida, but what made you decide to move from DC?
Ultimately, the choice came down to one, being in such proximity to what was happening politically, like what was happening in the country. And I'm from DC, you know, so it wasn't the feeling of needing to leave home to feel more safe, for sure, was not anything that I was planning for years of like, but it became increasingly unsafe because of the political climate and the nature of the work that I was engaged in before as an activist. And so when I came back from my year-long sabbatical, I took a year-long sabbatical in 2024, and I came back during the inauguration, and the energy was just, I knew that I did not have what I needed I didn't have it to try to navigate this again. I had done it before. I didn't have it to get myself through it again. I didn't have it to get my husband through it or my children through it again. And everything within me was like, you can make another choice. This is not the only place that you can live. And so it really was determined on that. We could see what was coming. And then being able to ask a question, if our ancestors had the opportunity to be able to leave when they saw what was coming, would they have left or would they have stayed? And everything that I heard was they would have left. And so that's what we decided to do. And when we wanted to get in front of it before the housing market was flooded, before the summer when the police violence increased and all of those things. And so, we made the decision in February. We did our scouting trip in April. We got the first part of our visa in February. And then when we came in April, we finished the second part. And so from the decision to move in February to becoming legal residents of Mexico by April, it was really fast.
Yeah, she's leaving out some parts that I think we need to talk about.
What parts am I leaving out?
You're giving us like the top. There's a piece here that's really important for other people to understand how aligned this was. How aligned this move was for you. So you thought about it in February. What was what was the length of time between I would like to do it to it's done? On the US side.
On the US side, February.
And when did the time between reaching out to the consulate the very first time and it's done?
It's done on the DC side?
On the DC side, yeah.
February.
You didn't get it done in like a week or something? Like
we had it. Yeah, that's why I was like, so what had happened was I was out, I was doing something at the kids' school, and my husband was like, at this point he was checking the website, and it's very different now. They do it through WhatsApp, but he was checking the website, the Mexican consulate in DC, and he just happened to see that an appointment opened up in an hour at noon. So he hit me up. It was like, it's an open appointment. Can you meet me here at noon? Perfect. And we already had all our documents and everything. And I met him there at noon. We met with the person, did the interview, showed all our documents. We did economic solvency. And I didn't have to show my finances because I had our marriage certificate. So as long as it was under that my husband made enough for our family, I didn't have to show mine. I just had to show that we were married. And so from that moment, us making the decision, it was within a span of a week. And I remember my mom told me this after. She said, when you all were telling me about it, I was nervous, but I prayed, if this is for them, make it easy. And well, and I've
never heard it easier, right? I have never. Erika's is like the easiest story I've ever heard. of just thinking about it, getting it done. Thought about it in February, got it done in February, and I was like, we're getting stuff in April to actually doing it.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
And your children have residency as well?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody came in under your husband?
Yeah. Yeah. We actually just, because, it'll almost be a year. Our temporary residency for the first year would have expired on the 19th. So today. But we did the renewal. And so now we have the additional 3 years temporary residency. So after the 3 years, we'll be able to have permanent residency.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this.
Yeah,
not what you expected 5 years ago, right?
At all. You wouldn't have been able to tell me that. I'm like, oh, so you're going to be you're going to be selling your house.
Mm-hmm.
I loved our home. And yeah, I would have never thought that. But from what I was seeing and the impact that it was having on my husband mentally, on us, mentally, spiritually, the work that I was doing, how the work that I was doing was now criminalized. It was like I would give all this shit up. And that's literally what we did.
Basics.
Mm-hmm.
Basics. What other places were you considering before you landed in America?
We were always considering Mexico. I think because of the legacy that Mexico has in being a safe haven for enslaved Black people. There's a history of that. And there's also the connection that I had as a child to the Yucatan area. Like we would always come here for vacation. So there was a level of comfort, of ease, and the feeling of home that I already had here. But it was also, if I needed to get back to my mom or any of the elders in our family, or even my clients, I could travel and it wouldn't take that long. Okay. We had considered looking at other places in Africa, looked at Ghana and a couple other places, but a part of it was just the distance and the time change. So what would be a bit more easeful. And so Mexico was where we landed. And we were initially looking at Querétaro. Mm-hmm. And but there was something that and ultimately that was a safe place too. Mérida is the second safest city in the Americas. And so because we were moving for safety, that was the thing that we prioritized. Safety, a culturally and values aligned community. And so Mexico was kind of a no-brainer, but Querétaro, it didn't seem to have as many Black folks as we wanted, because it was really like, from watching your videos, watching Stephanie's videos, it's like, where do Black people going? A friend of ours turned us on to Mérida and was like, this seems more like your vibe. It's really connected to health and wellness, the pace, and there are Black families thriving there, and there's already a beloved community that is budding, that so I wouldn't have to try to build something or rally and all those things. And so it could just be a soft place for us to land and really be able to receive. And so that's what kind of set Querétaro and Mérida apart, was the already established community there.
Okay. And what did your family have to do before you moved? So what was like the work that had to take place?
The work that had to for our family, or for my extended family, of us explaining it to them.
All of it. All of the what was like the internal, the actual labor, but also the internal work that you had to go through to uproot what sounds like a long lineage.
Yeah. That's a good question. I really think that the work that we have been doing over the years, our own healing work, how we've raised our children to be global citizens, like things like that, we had already been doing the work. And so really the way I kind of see this is that the outer freedom matches the inner. Mm-hmm. Like we are living in a place that feels free. that feels easeful. And so our children are very politically minded. And so we explained what was going on, and they knew what was going on. I mean, and so in talking about safety, and they know and also agree that no matter where we are, as long as their dad and I are good, they're good. And so wherever we need to go, that's just where we're going to go. And so our daughter was able to accept it quickly, and she was just like, okay, yeah, this is what we're doing. And and our son, it's my Pisces baby, he was processing a lot, and there was a lot of sadness and frustration and anger, and he was very clear, like, this is not about y'all. I'm not angry or upset. I'm angry and upset that this is something that we even have to do. And so it took him maybe about 3 days. He was just very quiet. And my husband and I, my son and I are very close, and we talk about everything. And so I was concerned, and he started kind of coming back around, and I was just checking in with him of like, so what's this last few days been like? You've been really quiet. And he said, I realized that I have been thinking so much about what I would be losing and not what I would be gaining. And so I just had to make that shift, and it just took me some time. And so for me, it was just like, once he said that, it was like, okay, I know the person that I raised, and I also am very clear about his process now, that it takes him some time to process, and he knows how to move himself out of it. He's able to observe what it is that he's thinking and how he's thinking and what might need to shift. And so I was really proud that he was able to move through that on his own and articulate like what he was feeling. And so they were kind of doing some of their own internal work in preparation for that. Like, it made sense for them. And I remember when we got here in June, so the last day for the kids' school was June 6th. We moved to Mexico June 8th. And that weekend was the Juneteenth celebration here in Merida. And as we were going to the Juneteenth celebration, I saw my son just like on TikTok and just saw his face. And I was like, what's going on? And he just said, Mom, we left right on time. The US just bombed Iran. And he was just scrolling through, and I was wanting him to be present to where we were going and what we were like. We are here now. But just knowing that, hearing that, of seeing that, and his connection was, we left right on time, was confirmation for me that we had done the right thing, and that we were in the space that we needed to be.
Okay. Looking back a year later, how do you think your children feel about it?
I think, and we just talked to them about this, they still believe that it was the right thing. Of course, there's grief, and wishing that things would have been different in the country. But I think that they have accepted. So thinking about the different cycles of grief, there is a level of acceptance that we all have come to, and what it means for us to be here. What are the opportunities available for us here? So I think they've adjusted really well. And, of course, there is like a longing of like being with their friends and being with their grandmother. And so I'm really intentional about when we travel. We just, spent 2 weeks in Maryland for their spring break. And so, it's something that we're just navigating together as a family. As things come up, we talk about them and not try to pretend like there is no grief, or that there is, no sadness sometimes, but there's a lot more. There's the good outweighs the grief, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you, have either one of them talked about going back to live in the US, whether that is for further education or just to be with family? Have they said anything about that?
Yeah, and I was just talking to someone on Threads about this. So my husband and I went to HBCU. We both went to North Carolina A&T, and our son is determined to go to a HBCU.
Okay.
Our daughter is like, I ain't ever going back. She's like, I'm going to London to study architectural design when I graduate.
I was going to ask if she had a place picked out already, but she does. She does.
Yes. Okay. We already have there's some plans. Now, granted, there are incredible architecture schools in Mexico. I mean, the architecture in Mexico is like on another level. So we're going to do an architecture tour in Mexico. But she's like she's a cold weather girl. She likes the fog. She likes the London fog. She likes the peacoats. She likes the cathedrals. And so she is really, her heart and mind are set on moving to London after she graduates. Our son wants to go to a HBCU. And so he's seeing what's happening with the Department of Education. He's seeing what's, the things that are happening in the US. And so I want him to have that experience. We both want him to have that experience. And so I really just hope that it's possible for him. I don't know what's going to happen with the defunding of our schools and the different reclassification of professional degrees and things like that. So those are things that we have to consider that, of course, we wouldn't have had to before.
Yeah. It's one of the things when I talk about things that I miss from the US. There's very little that I miss from the US.
Right.
But Blackness in large masses is something that I have a community of wonderful Black people in Mexico, City. But that I talk, because I've been out of school for a while, so I talk about it as walking into a bar and not knowing anybody, but it being Black and us all it being a very good time. That's what I miss, right? Being able to walk into Black spaces and have it be strangers and have it still be a very, very good time. And that's very hard to replicate in countries that aren't majority Black, right? Even though we can do it in the US, in other spaces that are not majority Black, it's very hard to do that. Yeah. And so I do know that longing, that HBCU longing makes so much sense in the context of a student, because he's not thinking about the bar.
Right. Yeah. And he had a taste of it, his freshman year. It was at a really dope private school in Maryland. That was Black. It felt like a little mini HBCU. So he had a taste of it. And I will say, and it's interesting talking with my daughter, there was when they shifted to schools here, the level of, the best way that I can explain this is the level of anxiety that they were used to when it comes to high stakes and the amount of work and trying to figure out how to balance their extracurriculars with their workload. That was non-existent here.
Oh, okay. Because
they don't have homework. Homework, right? Homework is, they don't have it because when you're home, you're supposed to be with your family and your friends. It's a cultural thing, and so they were equating that with, this doesn't feel as rigorous.
Right.
Because of the anxiety, because the anxiety is not there. Yes. And so, and there's a way. The overwork
that so many of us are used to performing.
Yes. And it was something that my daughter clocked, and she was just like, I'm glad I didn't have that experience in that first year that her brother had, because she was like, what he's able to do here, he was never able to do at home because of the workload that he had. And so, it's just very, very different. So yeah, and I will say, and what you were talking about with kind of walking into a room of Black people who are strangers and kind of getting that vibe. It's interesting because that is something that I miss, but because the community here, and I'm mostly being a part of the Black Merida experience community here, we have third spaces. So we have spaces that we meet up with each other weekly. So it is like every week you're walking into a room and everyone's like, "Hey, Erika, how you doing?" Like, so it's like we all are with each other. We're excited to see each other, and it's something that's consistent on a weekly basis. So I'm getting that feel, and it's not just surface level. It's I'm growing really deep and intimate relationships here, and with the community here, Black immigrant folks and local folks. So yeah, it is something that we miss, but it's something also that, you know, when Black people find each other in other places, we we are locked in.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I miss that. And I definitely, when I travel to the States, it's typically for like an event, a Black event, where I can get that feel. So, but yeah, it's been pretty cool.
Okay. So let's talk about your daily life in Mérida. This is, I think, a thing people want to tune into.
Okay.
What? Someone asked earlier, so we're gonna start with some of the beginning questions.
Okay.
How did you find your home? Gay leaves.
How do we find our home? So my husband was watching a lot of YouTube videos before we left, and there are a lot of Black men who are content creators that live in Mexico and live in the Merida area. And he found a person who was in this area that helped folks relocate, that connected them to realtors and talked about different neighborhoods. And so he reached out to that person. And so he was kind of the lead on that. And when we connected with that person, when we came in April, as soon as we got here, the plan was to start looking at places. And so the main thing is we wanted to find a school first and then find a home in the area of the school. That's typically, if you have children, that's the best way to do it. In Maryland, because of the education system, the inequities there, to get our children to a good school, we had to drive almost an hour and a half from where we lived in Upper Marlboro. That's one way.
What?
Because of traffic. We lived in, so to give perspective, if anybody's from Maryland, we lived in Upper Marlboro, and our children's school was on like Wisconsin Avenue, like up in like Rockville, Bethesda area. So we were driving there in the morning to get the kids to the school. So it was about an hour and a half one way. And then, of course, if you get out, the kids' school gets out around 4, you're right in the middle of traffic, of rush hour traffic. And so didn't want to recreate that, didn't really know what the traffic situation was going to be like. And so that's what we prioritized the school. So we did a tour of a school nearby, and then they showed us some of the different places that were available there. So we met with the relocation specialist, and I forget his Cortez. His name was Cortez, and I forget his YouTube channel.
Everybody knows Cortez.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So so he was really, really helpful. And the place that we are in now was maybe like the second place that we saw.
Okay.
And it's about 8 minutes from the school. And so in less than 24 hours, we knew the school that our kids were going to go to, and we knew the place that we were going to live. And we locked that in.
That's crazy.
I just kept thinking about my mom's prayer.
Right. Yes.
I kept thinking, like, just make it easy. And that is what it has been.
Okay. So Lenora says move abroad and thrive. It's Cortez Ross's channel.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Celeste knows too. Y'all, everybody knows Cortez.
Yes. So yes, we use Cortez. Shout out to Cortez. Yeah, and I think he lives maybe like 5 minutes from us.
Okay.
Yeah, he lives on. We live in a Pravada here, and then I think he lives in like a couple streets over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's get to nitty gritty.
Okay.
We're talking about cost of living.
Okay.
Tell us about your generally. We don't need the address, but tell us about your home, and then how much it costs, if you don't mind.
Yes. So we live in Concal, which is away from like the downtown central area. And so the way that the challenge with kind of answering that question in like maybe like USD versus pesos is because the fluctuation of the dollar so much.
Girl.
Now that is one thing that we had in our minds, but did not know that this food was going to just completely decimate the market and have it be going up and down. And there's no way for us to really know that. And so I want to say that, and my husband was still handling this. So I want to say that it is around 29,000 pesos.
Okay.
Which is maybe like 1,300, 1,400 a month, something around that. Last I checked, I could be wrong.
You're wrong. Oh, no. You're probably close. You're probably close. 1,675.
Yes. So again, how it was before. It was around that time. So those are the things that you definitely have to consider of like when the dollar fluctuates, what impact does that have?
Every time I do a video about cost of living, I'm always telling people you can't plan to be at the top of your budget. do not. Because when I first moved here, it was the US dollar was 20 to 1, which would have put your 29 at what, 1,500? I'm not going to do math on camera. It's not. That's what I do. That's not what I do. Yeah, just under 1,500. But that the flux, I have paid. I was trying to negotiate with my landlord, and no, not my landlord. My old landlord hit me up and was like, "Well, baby girl, your rent's going up," and I was like, "Ow, slow down." Because I'm already paying. I was paying like $600 more than I was when I first signed the lease.
First got there, yeah.
And she was like, "That money's not going to me. So what do I like?" She was like,
"Right, it's not extra. Yeah,
you're not giving me $600 more. That's just what you look like. That basically your conversion rate issues are your issues." And I was like, "You're absolutely right."
Yeah.
I was hoping you would feel. No, she was like, "No, I want more money." Okay, but like I said, just nothing changed. I was paying $600.
Yeah.
Nothing changed, and that's something
that can happen. Yep. Yeah, and that's one of the things that you don't know until you get here and experience it too. And so it's good to have those buffers and different streams of income or things like that. But yeah, a part of it of us moving here to we invested in getting solar panels put on the house. So with the house that we have that we're renting, so we didn't buy, we're renting. It is maybe four or five bedrooms. And because we wanted to have a place where people to come if they were needing to do their whole immigration process and things like that. People just wanted to come and get away and see what it's like. And it was significantly less than what we were paying in our mortgage. So even if like our expenses coming to Mexico were halved when we got here. So So definitely a different cost of living and different like what we're putting out. But there are things that we, are not in control of what the dollar does that impacts our budget. I will say that our children, I'm sorry, with the solar panels, before we got the solar panels, our electricity bill was crazy. And
I know why.
Because it's hot. it's hot. But I love it. That's the thing. I think people hype the heat up. Of course, it's going to feel different if you don't have a car. If you don't have a car, then you waiting on the bus, you're going to be outside. But if you have a car, you're going from air-conditioned house to air-conditioned car to the air-conditioned mall or restaurant or wherever, right? If you don't have that, then you're going to feel the heat differently. But I will say, once we got the solar panels, if our bill, and I think we get charged every other month, but we could have an electricity bill that was like $1,000 US. And with the solar panels, it might be $10 US.
Is that 1,000? You're stressing me out. Is that 1,000 US every month or every other month?
No, it was every other.
Okay.
That's how it was, but it was just for that summer part.
Yes, and then in the winter it goes down. So that's the one thing that I don't want to laugh at people's pays, but every once in a while I do a little snigger because people be moving to Merida and then be like, "My utility bills."
They do.
You ran that thing, huh? Like, girl,
listen,
you gotta look like it is incumbent upon us to learn all the ways the people who are in the area before us, how they live before we move to a new place. Because then
you can't be running the AC all day, every day, in every room.
In every room, you got all 4 AC splits running all day long.
Ain't no way.
Girl,
you got to know when to open the windows, when to just like
when to get in the pool, when to get.
Yes, that's one of the things I love our pool. Just to be like, it's hot. We just gonna be we in the pool today.
Erika be like, it's not that hot. Every home has a pool, pretty much. Like at least 75% of these homes have a pool. Yes, because it's hot and you can't be running the air conditioning because that bill is crazy. In the city, my electricity bill is usually less than $10 every 2 months. And that's with no solar panels, no nothing, just that's what I use. But I don't have no air conditioner, I don't have no heat, right? Like, so yes. I leave my windows open, my doors open, and that's what I get.
So that was one of the things, because so again with teens, teens like being up in their room and they be running that damn AC. And so now we have solar panels. It's not too big of a deal. I want you to be comfortable in your room, right?
Yes.
And with the windows that we have, there's like a kind of floor to ceiling. They're large windows with like some sliding.
Yes.
But there ain't no screens. It's no screens. And so we've had several instances. The birds are gorgeous. We would rather view them outside of our house than inside.
Outside.
We would like you to be outside, but when we open the windows, they're like,
what y'all doing? Y'all got some snacks?
They're like, oh, this is nice. Right. So
in the kitchen.
And then, we got the little critters here because the Yucatan is the jungle. So during, and I hate talking about this because it would have freaked me out too. But I'm not opening my windows during like spider season. So this AC is just gonna be running, or these fans are gonna be running. Okay.
But the solar panels help tremendously.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah. That's why I was like, it brought our utility bill down to like maybe $10.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, you got a lot of sun, so.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's so. I didn't realize it until when I went home and everybody was like, "Okay, so this is just your color now. You just got You just tan this whole
You have
whole
sugar
time.
no sugar cookie anymore, huh? You got that.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the spiders have the girlies in the comment.
I know. So I see. That's what I said.
Spider season. And Kat says, and by spiders, you mean scorpions?
No, by spiders, I mean tarantulas.
Now let's rewind and ignore that. I'm gonna
I'm gonna give it to you real because I wish somebody would have told me.
Tarantula? I'm thinking about like a little itsy bitsy spider.
If y'all see my Instagram right there, if y'all look on my Instagram and scroll down a bit, it's a video I want to say that's like after our moving video, and there is it. I think the caption or what I have on there is like spider season or something like that. But there was I'm taking the kids to school. There's a tarantula under the car, and I do not like spiders. I watched Arachnophobia as a kid, and it just messed me up. It messed me up, and so I don't do spiders. But the spiders are here, but they're not. Apparently tarantulas don't bother people.
They don't come to the house like birds do.
Yeah, no. Okay. No, I haven't seen that, but I also know that my husband will not tell me the things that he's seen or had to get rid of to not like freak me out.
Oh, okay.
So yes, before he moved in, as we were doing like the cleaning and all of that, he found a scorpion.
I'm trying to,
but he didn't tell me that until months later.
I'm glad he didn't tell you. I'm trying to get my thingy to do what I want it to do. It's not working. Come on, computer. Come on. There we go. More light. Oh, she got the
oh yeah. Oh, you pulled it up. Yes, that was under my car.
Under her. That's no itsy bitsy spider, girl.
It's not. That's why I was like, oh bitch, let me pull this up.
Okay. So now I feel like this video just ended. I feel like
no, don't leave.
For at least I want to say 75% of the women watching this video, they're like, no, you know what? I changed my mind.
It's not Australia. Okay? It's not Australia. It's not it's not like that. I just want to give it to you straight up. We are in the jungle. We're in the Yucatan. And so there are spiders, there's scorpions, but it's not like an infestation. It's not that at all. That was literally I know how this sounds. This is maybe the second time I've seen a tarantula since I've been here for a year.
Okay, so it's not like every day you wake up and like Charles here late, like coming down.
No, no. I don't have to sleep with like the net over my bed. Like,
okay,
no.
Okay.
No.
Lenore said I had an iguana that would visit me every morning for a while. I feed him fresh fruit.
Yeah. See, thank you, Lenore. See, we can be one with nature here. It's okay.
Tarantula girl and birds in the house.
There's a lot of cats. She's
the catch tarantulas kid here in Oklahoma. I have never once considered catching any kind of spider.
No, you want some other stuff in Oklahoma. Ain't nobody doing that. Not in DC. I'm a DC. No.
Been like, you know what? Let me catch this real quick. Okay.
No thanks.
All right. Committed to the dirty said Merida might be off my list. No, slow, but we don't
take it off.
You've only seen two. One was in the garage. You haven't seen a tarantula in the house, you said, right?
No, I haven't seen a tarantula in the house. This was literally in the carport as I'm taking the kids to school. Okay. It was outside.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't. Okay. If
I'm outside of the city too.
Yes.
I'm a little further out. We can like consider like a suburb area.
Yes. And you manage that because you have a car.
Yes. Yeah. So when we left Maryland, we did a voluntary repossession of our car. So we turn our cars in.
Mhm.
When we got here, we bought a car cash, and there's a person in the community that we all use who helps navigate the car buying process with us for buying used cars. So all the way through registration. And so we bought a car here, and so we don't have a car note. And the car is like comparable to what we had
Okay.
in the States.
I don't think I emphasized it. I don't think we
What?
talked enough about it before. We kind of glossed over it. You cut your living expenses in half.
We did.
And I'm gonna guess you did not cut your standard of living in half.
What do you mean?
Like you're not like living in a way that feels lesser than how you were living in DC.
Yeah, that's accurate. It doesn't feel less at all. You know, our home is smaller than what our home was there, but it doesn't feel too different, really.
Right.
Yeah, if anything, we actually are experiencing and receiving more. Like we have a wonderful woman who comes in and cleans our home once a week. We have a chef that cooks for everybody in the community, and so each of us have like one day a week where he cooks meals for the week, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and snacks, and he does the grocery shopping and things for us. And so those are things that can be taken off of our plate to be able to have more time for rest and family time and work and play and all those things. We didn't have that in the States. I would say, yeah, some of those things that are just like a cultural thing of having like support and help is supporting us in being able to thrive here. So,
Okay. What surprises you about other people's reaction to your move, if anything?
I don't think anything surprises me about people's reaction to our move. I think it probably doesn't surprise people just based on what they know of me. And but yeah, I think us being able to share our story, and that like it's a family that people knew that were embedded in community. They knew the nature of our work, and then we chose to leave. If anything, there's a curiosity of like, wow, why and how, you know, like what do you know that I don't know, and what should I be thinking about, you know? But yeah, I think nothing really surprises me. People have questions; they want to know, you know, what it's like. I always get the question about safety because of, you know, the propaganda around Mexico. But you know, when that happens, you know, when I have people reach out to me and are like, "Oh, are you safe there?" I'm like, "Yeah, are you safe in Memphis? Because the city that I'm in is safer than the city that you're in.
Yeah.
So are you okay?" You know, and so kind of having that understanding of, you know, recognizing how much the propaganda has influenced people's, you know, thoughts or ideas of what it's like to live in Mexico.
It's something that, like, after living here for a while and talking about it more, I thought I would hear less and less about the safety issue. Moving to Mexico is one of the ways I really had to come to terms with how programmed Americans are on a number of topics. And that's not to say that I'm not in it. I'm deep in the programming too and trying to get out. I am stuck in the matrix trying to get out, but it's a daily work. It's a daily process. But moving to Mexico is the point where I was like, And what makes you think Mexico's like having to have those conversations of like, where did you get this information from? Why is this a belief that you have? When like facts can be easily found, right? Especially when we see how cruel America is to Black women, directly and indirectly, right? And so, yeah, I think it was eye-opening to me to be like, oh no, like as Americans, we are really, the programming has worked on a number of topics.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's hard to get out of that.
Yeah. And it was interesting. It makes me think of this experience that I had. So one of the things that I noticed early on coming here, and we moved to Centro first, so it was very walkable, much more walkable than it is where we are in Concal. The level of safety I felt walking around the city, no matter what time, and the experience of not being catcalled on the street. Like I didn't realize how often I was bracing myself in the States when I would just walk to the nail shop or walk to, wherever, just walking. And I didn't realize that until maybe, when was this? In February, when I did a work trip to Arizona, and I was in Phoenix and ended up having to walk somewhere. It was a nice day. I was like, I want to walk. And the amount of catcalling that I experienced just on like a 15-minute walk, it was so jarring because I had been almost 8 months without it. Mm-hmm. And it was a moment where I had to realize, oh shit, I'm in the States now. Like, I can't just be, and that was the thing. It was like, oh, Erika, you can't just be walking around free like this. And I was like, yo, like to have that, to be like, in Mexico, I'm free, I'm safe to walk around. I don't have to worry about that. And then in the States, it's like, you need to remember where you are. You're not home.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that was like, whew.
Look how quickly you switched home, though. You're not home, right? In 8 months.
Yep. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
So tell us more about your day-to-day life. Like how do you spend your time? What are you doing?
Yeah. So day to day, I mean, I'm taking my kids to school every morning. So as I've said before, I don't cook. So it's either my husband cooks or our son cooks. Mm-hmm. And so I'm told when breakfast is ready, and I come down and we have breakfast together, and then I take the kids to school. Okay. And I get them there like around 7 a.m. Come back and do the rest of my morning routine, whether it's my divination, stretching, I might do some reading, and then making my coffee and just being easeful. I might watch a episode of Scandal as like some nostalgia, and see where the day takes me if I have meetings. So like I said, I'm a coach, so I still have coaching clients that I work with, different institutions, organizations that I do consulting work for, just kind of see like what that looks like in my day. From there, it kind of depends on the day. Like I said, Thursday, we always have a meetup where all the Black folks meet up in the park at La Plancha. And that's also like a soft place for folks to land where new families come. That's where we arrived. And I want to say a couple of weeks ago, we had 8 new families show up. Yeah. And it's interesting. I've had clients, because I've talked about this a lot. My clients have come to visit me and kind of scout Mérida too. So there are lots of folks that have been coming here. So that's a Thursday. Typically the routines, Tuesdays, Thursdays, sometimes Saturdays. My daughter has equestrian, and my husband takes her too. I might link up with some of the women here and do Pilates or go on a walk or meet for coffee or brunch, or, we might do some co-working together. I'll, in the middle of the day, just like go to an art museum sometimes, and check out a new cafe, or I'm really just exploring. So my day is mine, and I make sure that I don't pack my day with a whole bunch of meetings. I try to spread them out. I'm typically done because of the time change. When it's 5, like in DC, it's only 3 in Mérida, and so I'm pretty much done by 3, unless I have like a facilitation or something that I'm doing in the evening. But yes, it's pretty easeful. We do the market on Saturdays. There's a wonderful market called the Slow Food Market, and it's nice to like go to a place regularly and people know you and are excited to see you and things like that. So we kind of have that routine. We'll do our shopping and get some little sweet treats, enjoy some coffee, and come back and chill. We might go to an event. There's always events happening here. There's always dancing. There's always something. But yeah, it's easeful. My day is pretty much mine.
Okay. All right. Is this a day is this a future that you imagined when you were in DC? Are you living a life where you're like, I had hoped for this, or is this all kind of brand new, like, for you?
I for sure had hoped for this. I didn't think that I would experience it this soon. There was always a part of me that was like, I'm gonna live somewhere else, like outside of the US. But I definitely imagined it would be once my kids are in college, like that I would still have a home in Maryland, and I might, spend 3 months in another country. And I envisioned it that way. But this is very different. And I'm grateful to experience it so soon, and to have my children be able to experience it too. Have that be a part of their lived experience of living in another country. But yeah, it's almost like there are a lot of folks who wait until they're like in their 60s to experience a life of ease, and feel like you just have to work hard and to be able to rest and to have a more easeful life. And I've never, I got out of that mentality very quickly, just from witnessing my mom and understanding the toll that it takes to, of the overworking and how much of a setup it is. And so, I'm grateful to be experiencing this in my 40s. It's great. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah. All right. Question for you. Actually, I'm going to go through some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
If you have more questions for her, drop in the chat. The girlies want to know, when is spider season?
When is spider season? I want to say that when I took that video, I think it was around September, October.
You posted it October 2nd.
Yeah. So that's around that time.
Okay. All right. Amber Johnson Logan wants to know, how many panels do you get?
I believe we have 10.
Okay. Karen Smith asks, is the cleaning lady part of the rent or an expense you chose?
It's an expense we chose. Okay. Yeah, she does. I put a message out in the neighborhood app of our Pravada, and she came highly recommended. So she cleans a lot of folks' houses like in this neighborhood.
Okay.
And that's about 500 pesos a week. What?
Maybe that Merida cost of living and the Mexico City cost of living are not the same.
It's very different. That's another reason. Tell them why it's different, Sheeta. Tell them why it's different.
Woo! It is not the same. So actually, I do want to touch on. We're going to stop rapid fire for a minute because I want to touch on this. Merida used to be known as a very, very extremely safe city, and also an extremely inexpensive for most people city. It had a low cost of living compared to.
It's another reason why we chose it
in Mexico, but it's not nearly as the cost of living isn't nearly as low as it used to be. Are you seeing any pushback from locals about foreigners moving in and prices going up?
I haven't. No, I haven't. Everyone has just been really, really warm to us, and that's another reason why we make sure that the money that we spend is going to the community. I'm very intentional about that. But no, if anything, I might see something on TikTok, but it's people that don't even live in Mexico. It's people that are in the US. Right.
Every time.
It is.
Every time.
It's really interesting.
Every time a hater shows up in the comments, baby girl, where do you live?
Right.
You want to meet me for coffee down the street? No,
right. Let's talk. Yeah. So if anything, and that is few and far between. I don't see that a lot. I find that there's a lot of most people that are experiencing stuff like that are like living in Mexico City or it's a little further north. People in the Yucatan are just very different. They're very different. It's a warm people. It's like you are family to them. And like it's a different type of like how you are received here. I've experienced it just very differently. So I'm not getting a lot of pushback. One of the things that we are really intentional about is making sure that we're not contributing to that through gentrification and things in that way. And talking with lawyers to like, if instead of like going through realtors only, because realtors are for the landlords. And if landlords are similar everywhere, if they're going to try to push up the price to get as much as they, can, but our lawyer knows like what's comparable here and like how to negotiate and things like that. So because of our ignorance, we aren't, driving up a price or anything like that. And so, yeah, even if we decide to move, somewhere else, still in Merida, but if we decide to shift providers, like that's one of the things that we would be considering. And our lawyer would make sure that that's, things are on the up and up and not contributing to pushing other people out.
Girl, because this rental process I did here earlier this year. Yeah. This is terrible. And the thing I think is actually interesting, I think you talked about how you don't really feel that in Merida. And the people in Mexico City are the same warm, kind people. I think the difference that I experience is that because Mexico City is such a metropolitan city, you're competing. The people who live here are not only competing for resources with foreigners, but they're also competing for resources with people from other places in Mexico. From other places in Mexico that I think are most vocal because they have an idea of what Mexico City should be, and they don't like that it doesn't match exactly, right? Like they're competing with a foreigner for an apartment, right? First of all, I know the rent. You're not ready to live in Mexico City and rent a place unless you're ready to go to war. Like,
oh geez,
you're running your laps, got that on your back, drinking all your water. It is cruel and unusual at this point. And that's what I think about smaller cities like Merida is it's much easier. Girl,
you didn't have that experience at all.
I talked to places in my rental experience where they wanted a guarantor. And a guarantor in Mexico City has to own property in Mexico City without a mortgage that they pledge on behalf of this lease.
Wow.
Right? They also wanted an insurance policy, right? Insurance policy saying that if you don't pay the rent, the insurance company will pay the rent. Okay. They also wanted a cosigner that had to be a Mexican national that would co-sign promissory notes.
That's different than the guarantor?
That's different from a guarantor. They wanted all three of them.
Jeez.
And I was like, okay, bye. Okay.
Right.
Okay, bye. But there are so many places that like a policy alone takes care of everything. If I don't pay, the insurance company will pay.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many places that were like, you don't have someone who will pledge property on your behalf. I'm sorry, no, we won't rent to you.
Wow, I can't imagine that.
Right, and so that's why places like Merida, San Miguel, some of the smaller towns are just easier land places, right?
Mm-hmm.
You really got to want it to live here.
Yeah,
that's what
it sounds like.
Why did they say? I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, being able to go to a place, see it, lock it in, really like there's a real benefit to that in comparison. And even things like what you pay your cleaning lady versus what I have to pay my cleaning lady are just different numbers.
Yeah. And
your place is much bigger than mine. But that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Small town. Mexico has so many gems though that are like Merida that just aren't Merida, right? Aren't known the same way.
Yeah.
But still have the same kind of ease of living that you have in Merida. And I think that's one of the great things about this country is that we have a lot of Des Moines, Idahos. You know what I mean? In the sense that like a small town that like you may have heard the name of once, but you've never been there. But where people could have a really, really nice life, but it wouldn't feel like Des Moines. It would feel like Merida, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the things I love about it. Yeah. So, all right. Talk to me a bit about talk to me a bit about the Black Merida experience, because you talk about that frequently.
Yeah. Oh, I love this community. Shout out to Nicole and Eric and Rita and Ashiko and Stephanie, like all the folks that contribute to what this community is and what, not even just what the community is for Black immigrant folks here, but for like how deeply embedded we are in the local community and with collaboration and support and all these things. The Black Merida experience was something that I was introduced to a friend of mine when I didn't even know about Merida. And so if you look on Instagram, it's the at the Black Merida experience, and you'll see like what it is that we're building here. There is something called the kitchen, where we feed families, Black immigrant families and local families on a weekly basis. So the community contributes to that and delivers food to folks. And I was a part of that. My son and I were a part of that too, of volunteering in those ways. And there's the backyard boogie event where there's just a party at the end of the month. They just had a spring break session for, I want to say it's about 30 or so kids. And that was really amazing. So when you look on that page, you'll be able to see a lot of the things that we do. But the intention of it is to, I think many of us look at it as if we are like building another aspect of the Underground Railroad, of like when people are ready to leave and get out, there's a place for them to come. And we're showing them other possibilities of what life could look like. From people that look like you, the people that have families, people that value community, and have a political understanding of what's happening to Black people in the US. and why so many of us are choosing somewhere else. And so it's really dope. I love how Eric and Nicole are intentional about documenting it and archiving what's happening here. It's just wonderful. Our Thursday meetups are like, it's like a family reunion every week, that we're just meeting up at the park, having our game nights. There's a lot of play, which is really healing for people who've experienced a lot of trauma and racial trauma. We know that play is really what heals. And so we are intentional about that, whether it's the Sunday morning bike rides that we do like as a community, the Thursday game nights, the meetups, the different events that we have. We're intentional about being together and building together. And I really, really enjoyed that. And as a person who is a community builder, it was helpful for me to come into a place where I didn't have to create, that I could just receive. And, you know, once I got settled a bit, really looking at what I want to contribute to this community. And so I started a book club here. It's a similar book club to what I had in the States called the Love and Liberation Book Club. And so we just launched that in Mérida and are meeting up in person. So there's just so many, you know, in real life, in person spaces that are available here that that people intentionally create time for that that didn't really happen in the States. People are overworked and not really having the space and time and capacity to nurture the community relationships that are central.
What are you guys reading in your book club?
We're reading Sky Full of Elephants.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you familiar with that?
I have not read it, but I've heard many, many things about it. Yes.
Yes. It is what happens, and this isn't a spoiler because it's shared in the beginning of the book. It's what happens when when one day all the white people in the US walk into the nearest body of water and drown themselves. And now it's just Black and brown people. What does Blackness look like in the face of not without whiteness? What does it look like? What can we build? What goes uninterrupted now? So it's been incredible to read in a place like this. There have been people that are like, they've read and then went out into the city, and because they didn't see any white people, were like, is this real? Did this actually happen? Yeah. So it was a interesting conversation. Okay. So that's what we're reading, Sky Full of Elephants.
For me, I think when you say that, and like I said, I've heard about it before, but I hadn't thinking about it in the context of this week and all that we've seen in the news and things. My first thing my brain went to is who tries to become the white people. So I haven't read it, but this is now more than ever, I'm motivated to read it because I can already imagine who tries that. I can already imagine that in a world like that, someone.
I
worked with a woman once who tried to get me fired. And in her explanation of a woman of color who tried to get me fired, in her explanation of why she tried to get me fired, I didn't get fired, but she left her role and went to a different. Anyway, in her explanation, it was, whenever I see a power vacuum, I just feel like I need to fill it. And I was like, you don't even hear how psychotic you feel. You sound like you when there's a power vacuum, I just try to feel it.
This is the insidiousness of white supremacy. White people don't even have to be around.
You're the only other brown person in the department, and you try to get me fired because when there's a power vacuum, you got to feel it. So now you're acting like you're the boss of everybody.
And where did you learn that from? I mean, was that done to you?
I said, okay, well, anyhow, child, I'm getting.
Listen, you can do the little taps,
Listen.
do your butterfly hug.
Oh, what is that? What is that? Show me.
So this is the one of the energy exercises I teach is bilateral stimulation.
Okay.
And so when you feel your nervous system activated, you tap. So it's one at a time. Yep.
Oh.
And if you put your fingers right up by the collarbone and breathe.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. I'm back. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You started off this video by saying you are free as fuck.
Yes.
Let's run that back. What does that look like for today's Erika?
What does that look like for today's Erika? To me, it looks like joy. It looks like pleasure. Looks like ease. Looks like honesty with myself, with everyone around me. There's no hiding anything of how I feel, what I want, what I don't want. Yeah, there's a lot of I smile a lot.
Okay.
I smile a lot. There's a lot of just joy that I witness around me, joy and gratitude and beauty, which is what we all deserve. And I'm really about curating that for myself and supporting people in curating that for themselves by removing any of the lies or limiting beliefs that might be blocking that for themselves. And so, yeah, I recognize that for many folks, I've been the mirror and the model of showing what's possible and inviting conversations to help them see themselves clearer and what they believe is possible and what they believe is not possible and where did that story come from. So yeah, that's what I say it looks like. My freedom and liberation is not just for me. And so I can't be shy about it. I can't be coy about it. I'm intentional about talking to people about how I was able to curate a life that I did and what was what are the things that I had to unlearn? What are the chains that I had to break to set myself free?
Okay. Speaking of being a possibility model. I need my tea. Yeah. Erika has been creating conversation over on Threads. If you don't follow her on Threads, she's To Live Unchained. Go ahead and grab her profile so you can get it. I'll drop it in the links drop it in the thingy. What are those called? Those are comments. Drop it in the comments. Erika's been creating conversation on Threads lately. How would you describe that conversation, Erika?
You know, I'm gonna pull up, so I'm gonna make sure I know I remember what I said. It really didn't start as a conversation. I was just saying a day that happened in my life, and people responded to it, and then I shared again of another day. And what I will share, because I know what you're getting at.
I'm not saying I've said nothing. I just asked.
Yes. So a part of what I shared was, let me see where a part of what I said was I think it sparked from someone introducing themselves as a pleasure dom. So a part of my liberation and how I'm wired is I am polyamorous and I'm a kinkster and very much in the life and have been for a while. And it's something that I just decided to experiment with in another area of my life. And so on Thread, someone had introduced themselves as a pleasure dom. And then I responded and said something along the lines of, I hired a pleasure dom as an accountability coach, and 6 months in, 10 out of 10 recommend. Right. And so that kind of blew up. And then this is when I was back in Maryland. My dom lives in Maryland. And I put something on Threads and I said, 6 months in, and I said yes to the caller. Had lunch with him and his wife today. First time meeting her, and she's so lovely. What a life. And I had the Luther Vandross meme. And that blew up. I posted it, I want to say at like maybe 3:00 in the morning. I was just like processing, like, this was a lovely day. Like, and really like being able to observe myself of like, everybody in this conversation is okay. I'm not activated. Everybody's fine. And then there was another post, and I forget which one it was, of me also processing. So I think I said Monday had lunch with my dom and his wife. Thursday, I met his other sub. And Saturday, I'm flying back home to my husband. And apparently this is my life now. And that also blew up. And people had lots of questions and all of that. And so that's a part of like what my liberation looks like. Is I don't shy away from conversations like this. I like to be able to show different possibilities. And I'm pretty much an open book. And that's what I've been writing about in my Substack, Pleasure as Practice. And that's where I really go into like the details of how this experiment came to be, of what would it look like if I used pleasure as a productivity tool. I'm a person that is late diagnosed ADHD, and I was tired of what I've seen as like shame-based models of productivity and urgency. And so I was like, what if I got a dom instead of another planner? What if I hired a dom instead of an accountability coach or a business coach? What would that look like? And I had been talking to my husband about it for months, and he was like, yeah, it makes sense. I support you. And yeah, it's been great. And so when I posted about it, I didn't think it was going to blow up in the ways that it did. I really didn't.
Now you know.
I did. I probably.
Now you know.
I did not know it was going to be that. Yeah.
So Erika talks about all the stuff on her Substack. So we're not going to talk about it much more here. Well, because I know y'all got some questions.
See, I can't even see none of the questions. I don't want to see.
Okay, so here we'll give them some basic questions.
Okay.
CC the Tantric Gourmet says, for the viewers, please explain what a dom is.
Yes. So a dom is, and there's different types of dom. So a dom is a person that you are in an intentional power exchange relationship with. So intentional, consensual, and the way that I describe this is, for me, because my Dom is a person that also holds my goals and what I desire for my life, the things that I want to accomplish. He holds those with me and almost kind of holds some of the cognitive load. And sometimes I just need to be told what to do. I need to say that I'm overwhelmed with my to-do list. I don't know what to prioritize. I need you to tell me what to do. And he does. And he creates a structure for me that I don't have to think about, that is pleasurable. And like I said, I write more about that there. But it's a different type of energy. So a part of how I kind of got to this place is recognizing that I've been very successful in my life and used spiritual energy, emotional energy, mental energy, physical, financial energy. What would it look like for me to use my erotic energy now? Because some of the structures and things that I had in place, me being in perimenopause, me being a woman that's in her 40s, some of the things and structures that used to work for me just don't anymore. They don't. And so I was like, so what if I just used erotic energy? What would that look like? What would I need? And that's what came to mind. Of instead of an accountability coach, I would hire a Dom who offers me accountability structure, and that activates that erotic energy within like my goal setting, within various aspects of my life. And so it's been amazing.
I subscribe to her Substack because tell me about this life. Tell me more. I subscribed and I was reading the article about drinking water and I was like, Erika didn't have to do this. Erika, now you're going to have to read it yourself.
Now you see why I've been sipping my water now.
Erika said we can't talk. She told me what we couldn't talk about on this video and I respect those boundaries most of the time.
You be stepping. You do it with a cute gift.
I'm gonna get to the line and look you in the eye like, you sure? You sure this is a lie? But the one about drinking water, get to the Substack. The one about her water intake and how she wasn't drinking enough water. Get there.
Read her and report back. Report back to the comments.
And report back, y'all. Please.
Yes. If you go over there from this live, write it in the comments on the Substack of what you think.
What you think? What you think? I thought I was ready, and then I wasn't. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
But how did it feel for you? How did you know you weren't ready? What did you feel in your body?
I was shocked. Also, first of all, first things first, this man was making sense. What he said, I was like, when you put the 2 with the 2, he said that's
if Johnny had 2 apples.
What? That was truly one of the first things. I was like, he's getting you to where you need to go in a way that is not manipulative, not it's not pressure, but it's getting you to where you want to go. And I was like, I didn't.
And that's the point, right? And it worked.
Okay, so what's the name of your Substack?
It's called Pleasure as Practice.
I've linked it a few times in the comments. Mm-hmm. It's in the description. Pleasure as practice.
Mm-hmm. And you can just type my name in Substack and it'll come up. Yeah. What is happening on your face, Rashida?
I had to stop reading it because I was like, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, how did he know what to say? I'm like, that's a profession now.
That's a professional.
That is
exactly.
Now.
Exactly. And you know what I found too, and I've written about this a bit. One thing that I can say, I realize that I have a competence kink.
Okay.
If you are proficient, if you are competent, and you actually know what you know and can demonstrate that, and you have a level of confidence and it's proven, that's a big turn on for me.
I said, oh, that man's out here. What? You know what?
Completely did not know that was the direction. But there's proof. So in that article, and it's one of the free articles, it's the most recent one. The name of that article is "Maybe Your Executive Function needs better foreplay." And yeah, I have data there like that proves how my water intake has increased and shifted and changed, and what that practice has looked like in other areas of my life. And so it's an experiment that I'm building this framework and having him try it out on me. And yeah, it's working.
Listen, the girlies are saying, let me go ahead and get that year. Let me go ahead and get that year. And earlier, 6 weeks later, said, is there an age limit to begin this? She said, hello.
There is not.
Hello. What about me?
There is not. And there's a lot of things coming up. And I actually just talked to him the other day. He knows that I'm doing this live. And we talked about, so he's going to be answering some of the questions. We're going to be going live on Substack together.
Okay.
So you'll be able to see him, ask questions, like all of those things.
Do you have that scheduled?
I don't have it scheduled yet, but it'll be for of course, the paid tier. And then he'll be in some of the chats with us. But he's excited about that too. Definitely down. So, yep. But no, there is no age limit.
Question. Oh, Azurva Nurse says you should start a YouTube or something with membership because this is so interesting. She's in the Substack. She's having conversations in the Substack.
Yeah.
Membership.
You know, that's something I'm gonna talk to you and Stephanie about, because y'all have been the main ones that are like talking to people about starting YouTubes and things like that. So it's something that I'm considering. I just don't want to spread myself too much, but it's something I'm considering.
Getting a Substack and let that build, and then if you want to add some more labor to your life. But yeah. Now see, I'm gonna blame Erika for this. Like, Erika, can we talk about it? And she was like, no. And I was like, no, but Erika, can we talk about it? I had sent her, if you see my communication with Erika every time she posts something, I send her just
Rashida in the comments
asking the same question. You sure we can't? No words, but she knows what I'm saying. She was like, no. So she has. That's why we didn't talk about this earlier, because we're supposed to be talking about life in Mérida. But I knew I needed to get this in here because y'all need to get over here to the Substack. Get to the Substack.
Listen, if it resonates and it's for you and you're curious, it's there. And if you want to go deeper, then that's a possibility too.
Okay. Another question that I don't think we're delving too deep into it is From Jalen, the dancing therapist, was this a dynamic they implemented after leaving the U.S. or before? Did leaving the U.S. give you more permission to live freely on this level too?
Oh, that's such a good question. So the dynamic was implemented after I left the U.S. And I think the universe knows me very well because my dom also lives in Maryland. So lived in the state that I moved from. So there needed to be an adequate amount of distance before I met him. And so we met at a kink conference or sex education conference, kink positive conference called Sex Down South. And we met in September of last year. So I moved in June and then I met him in September. And so it's been long distance, and then we'll meet up in different places that we attend, or I'll meet up and have a session with him when I'm home or things like that. The question, did leaving the US give me more permission to live freely on this level too? In a different way. I didn't, I put out there in my journals and in the universe about 3 years ago that I wanted a dom, and I was very particular about the type of dom that I wanted. And we found each other in that September. So I can't say that it gave me more permission to live freely, because I've been in the kink community for a long time, at least about maybe 10 or 12 years now. But I will say getting out of the US and having more of my emotional and creative capacity returned to me, because I'm not always trying to recalibrate myself, it allowed for an idea like this to come to me, like the creativity of this, creating this pleasure as practice, which is really a framework. It's a, what I like to say, it's a sensual system for scattered brains, where there's a framework for getting things done, actualizing your goals that don't have anything to do with shame or trying to coerce yourself. Like, what does it look like for you to be seduced into your goals?
So I'm gonna get to where I can talk real quick.
Okay.
And that is, I think we heard about Sex Down South from Dr. Catherine Sophia Bell when she was on my channel.
Oh, nice.
Ago. I think that's
unfortunately it's over now.
Is it?
It is. The founders had kind of like a falling out, a very public falling out.
Hopefully something will take it.
There is something else though. There is another event in July, but I got to get over to my Substack. I'll tell you all about it. We talk about it in the chat. So those are some of the resources and things that I'll drop in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm speechless. I'm not normally speechless, but first of all, if you had stopped that sentence at seduced, at least 60% of us in the audience would be like, girl, I don't know. What does it look like for you to be seduced? What are we talking about? I don't even remember. Right? But like, seduced into action that is not about the other person.
There we go.
But is about me.
Yes. Because having a pleasure dom, it means that my pleasure is centered. At all times.
So, okay, so you live in Merida. It's great.
It
all
is.
Right. Tell us about what you're building now, where people can find you, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Look at you. Look at you. Are you blushing?
I'm it's one of those things where when I was reading it, I was like, my brain isn't even computing this because.
What is your body doing though?
That's none of your business, girl.
Oh, okay. You know.
But I'm gonna go back. Like I said, I couldn't even finish. I read to what I could finish, and then I was like, that's enough. So when I finish it, maybe I'll leave in the chat what my body was doing.
Yeah, because that's the question. That's the question. A lot of us will be up in our head, but what's your body telling you? So what was your question?
Say some words, girl. I don't know.
So really what I am building now is pleasure as practice. Like that, I know that this is a trajectory of my life and my work now. It is still liberation focused. But we're talking about pleasure and how you can use that as a tool. And that pleasure is not a reward to be earned. It is the mechanism of a truly delicious life and actualizing your goals and supporting your own becoming. Like that's really what it's about. And so for me, because I'm very, very much in this experiment and it's happening in real time, my intention is to write about it and be open about it of the things I'm learning, the things I've had to unlearn, like what is the work that I had to do to get to this place, to what are the conversations I had with my husband, what are the conversations that, and I love the analysis even that my Dom holds of this and conversations he's had with his wife to get him toward this. So we're very, very much aligned in this way. I've been married for almost 20 years and he's been married, I want to say around like 11 years. And he's maybe about 10 years younger than me. So that's also interesting. Yeah.
Okay. There are a lot of comments right now that say something like, it's like a dream life she's living. And I want to touch on this because one of the things that you haven't told us is that this life is inaccessible, right? I want the women who are saying Erika's living the dream.
It's a reality.
It's a reality. And it can be Erika's reality. It can be your reality as well.
Absolutely. And that's what I mean about being the mirror and the model. It's possible. And I'm proof that it's possible. It's nothing truly inherently different about me than any other woman on here. It really isn't. And so I think a part of our power as women is being able to be honest and talk to each other about how we got to the place that we are. What are the things we had to unlearn? What was like the messiness and all of that? And those are the things that I'm writing about. So yeah, it's possible. It's possible. It's having the vision. And one of my spiritual teachers, Dr. Michael Beckwith says, pain pushes until the vision pulls. And I think so many of us have been fueled by pain. And it has been effective until it stops being effective. And there's another way. And it is possible. You just have to be in a space to give yourself permission to name what it is that you really want. Without apology. What is it that you want and how can we get you there? And that's what I support people in doing in my coaching too.
Let's talk about your coaching.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about that. Tell us more. Tell us who you coach,
yeah,
what you're on, etc. And are you taking clients?
Yes, I'm taking clients now. my sabbatical was great. And so I'm open and receiving clients now. I've been coaching full time for a long time, since about 2011. So for me, I support people of the global majority across gender. But a lot of my work is with Black women and femmes, and really, again, supporting people in identifying what are the self-limiting beliefs that you tell yourself, about your possibility, and whatever that might be, and moving toward liberation. So helping you unearth, understand, and unchain yourselves from any of these self-limiting beliefs that are preventing you from embodying the liberation that already exists within you. And so one of the things I enjoy about being a coach is I can talk to you about my life and what has worked and what hasn't. And we can really be in that intimate space of just having a guide to walk alongside you, who has been where you are, and has gotten to the other side, sharing different tools, different somatic practices, even what I was sharing with you before about the butterfly hug, of the somatic practices to kind of help get you unstuck. Because a lot of it is not, more talking may not necessarily be necessary. You might have to get in your body to shift some of that energy to get you unstuck. And a lot of it is unprocessed grief. So I do a lot of grief work with folks too. And it's one of my greatest joys of being able to see someone move toward liberation in their life and actually live that out. So yeah, you can check more about that on my website, erikatotten.com. And yeah.
Okay. And that link is in the description. If you're interested in spending more time with Erika, that is a place to do it. She has her Substack. You can find her in Merida at Black Merida Experience events. And she's living an amazing, very interesting life. Very interesting.
It's a lot of fun.
Listen, very free. Very free. You said it. You started off and you did not lead us astray.
I wasn't lying.
You were not.
But this is what freedom looks like for me. Yes. It may not be for everybody, but again, and I don't, lead people in any particular way. It's visioning, what does liberation look like for you, and how do you actualize that? And how do you give yourself permission as that vision expands?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. From tarantulas to Dom.
Yes, that was a nice arc.
We're going to talk about it. Okay, so I want to thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for joining me, even though I've been harassing you for like weeks. I've been on Erika, like, are you sure? Merida has always been a really popular place in the community. And so I hope that besides the tarantulas, which you've never had to actually deal with.
Yeah, no, we just got in our car and drove off. And when I got back, it was gone.
Right. And when you lived in Centro, you didn't have these problems.
Mm-mm.
You're just out. You're in the jungly jungle now.
Yeah.
Merida is a place that if I could tolerate heat, I think would be a great choice. Those of you who love it, who love the heat. I know people love Merida for so many reasons. The community, people love it for the weather. But I do think community is like the top thing that pulls people.
Top thing. Yeah. That's,
Really
all the research talks about your quality of life is based on the quality of your relationships and the community that you're a part of, Yeah. So that's Bell Hooks talked about that. Audre Lorde talked about that. Like, that's a thing. And it doesn't hurt that I'm 15 minutes from the beach too. So
you are out there. If you're 15 minutes from the beach, you are out there. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you for being here with me today. Thank your husband for lending us. If Mr. Dom is watching, hey. We would, when you guys do the chat, we would love to hear the for beginners version of this.
Yeah. Yes.
How to start from scratch when you know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely gonna try to.
That's coming.
Yes.
That's coming for sure.
So, y'all go read that Substack about her water intake.
That's the one that's really resonating with you. Yes, read it. Please finish it but take your time.
Yes.
You know, it's no rush. Take your time. Trust your body. But I would love to know what other folks think and how it resonates. So definitely leave comments in the essay. And I'll pop back over here and look at some of the comments too. But leave some comments in the essay. Let me know that you came from Rashida.
Lenora just signed up. The girlies are gonna be there. Okay, thank you, Erika.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone. Members of the community, we are going to go on Zoom after this, and you know what we're gonna be talking about. You know what we're gonna be talking about when we get over there.
Listen, capture the questions, and I'll do like another Substack of answering the questions.
Anissa says now she's got to go learn about these conferences. And CC Botanic Gourmet says drinking her water now. Baby, drink that water.
If he's watching, you see I've been drinking my water this whole time.
Do you measure you're still measuring your water intake?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, we've been joking about this a lot. But I have to say, baby, whatever it takes to get through perimenopause.
Okay.
Whatever it takes.
Listen, and a bitch is feral. Okay. So
whatever it takes to get through this absolutely insane time in life, go do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, friends. Until next
time. Enjoy your Zoom.
I'll send out a link for that now, y'all, and we'll meet soon. Thank you, guys. Talk later.
Bye.
Bye.